You've got this handout on your desk. Read through it, take a look at it, look at the objective, look at the information that's on this diagram here, and look at our workflow. And right now we're going to cover this 20 Shapes FL. So please pay attention. Please look through this from here all the way to here, and then start this training video, okay? So 20 Shapes FL, and let's go to Illustrator. Sure, you're on CC 2017, and we're gonna go File, New, and we're gonna go Print, keep it at letter, change points to inches, change the name to 20 Shapes FL, your initials, and that looks good. Click Create. Remember, if I go too quick on this video, pause it, rewind it, replay it, fast forward it, whatever you need to do. Goes at your pace. And you also want to make sure that you watch the video and do some work. Watch the video, do some work. Don't just try to watch the video and then do the work. Make sure that you're kind of using it as a flow. All right, toolbar on the left, panels on the right, and we start with the, go ahead, single column it. We're going to find the rectangle tool, which is right above the brush tool. If it shows a different tool, it's the right one. It's just the tool is switched. Let me show you all the tools. You just click and hold with the mouse. You're going to get the tools to be listed out. If you go to the very end right here on that little bar, click it, you've torn out the tools. Tear out the tools from the toolbar. And now they're real handy for us to use. So we're going to start with the rectangle tool. We come out onto the workspace here, the image area, and then realize I might want to change the colors. So I'm going to use the drop down arrow here and set a fill, and drop down arrow there, set a stroke, and then I come over here, draw me a rectangle. Draw me a rectangle. All right, stroke is really hard to see, so I'm going to use the up arrow and grow that or enlarge that stroke, that border area, so you can see the colors better. Okay, once I have a shape drawn, there's many things I could do with it. Using the selection tool, top selection tool, V on the keyboard, right? It's selected. I can move it around, put it wherever I want. Remember, if it's out here on the artboard, it won't be part of the exported final version. That would just be the part that's in the image area. This part would be cut off. That would be fully in our image area and be fully part of our export. You can also grab a corner edit box and change its shape. Grab the middle ones too. Right? Got that? You can rotate it, hover around the corner of it, and rotate it. Let me get a little smaller here. Move it in the middle. So you can rotate it, hover around that corner, rotate it, right? Any way you want. Let's put that off to the side. Make it a little smaller for now. I bring it back later. If you want to make stay on the rectangle tool. If you want to make a square, you're going to hold the Shift key down. That will give you a perfect rectangle or a square. And if you want to control the center of where the square is, you hold the Shift key down and the Option key. And then you click, hold, and drag, and you'll draw a square out from that center line. Make sure you let go of the mouse first before the keyboard. It doesn't have to be a square, that you could fit the center of it. You could say, okay, I want a rectangle right here. So you just hit the Option key, click, hold, and drag, right? A little different than if you do it, right? If you do it without using any of the keys. just kind of drags out away from that click point. Okay, that's a lot on rectangles. So let me go to V and use the selection tool and Command A. No, not Command A. I'll do a selection box to select these three guys. And I want to show you something about selecting. You can just do a real tight selection box like that. As long as that selection box is touching it, it's going to end up selecting the whole thing. So it allows you to get into tight little places and still select an entire area. Hit the delete key, clean things off. Okay, now I'm going to change my fill and my stroke and go to the ellipse tool. Click ellipse tool, hello, okay. Click, hold, and drag. There's my ellipse, right? Ellipses, circles, hold the shift key down. And if I want to have control of the center of the circle, from where I click and drag from the center, I want to shift to make it a circle, and option key to set the center, the click point as the center of the circle. Let go of the mouse first, let go of the keyboard. Using the selection tool, right? I can select any of these, or all of these, or some of these, maybe those two, and just if I want, just one. Just kind of click out. It's like deselect. Just click out and click back in. And if I have something selected, I could change its color, change its fill, and its stroke. Okay. And I could rotate it, and I could resize it, just like I said, or just like I could with the rectangle tool. All right. So put one of the circles out here and do a selection tool and all that. And hit the delete key. Command 0 to realign to the center of the screen. All right, next tool, the polygon tool. Click, hold, and drag. Release. There's my polygon. Now, if that doesn't have the right number of sides, then you click, hold, and drag, but don't release the mouse button. And use your other hand and click on the up and down arrows to increase or decrease the number of sides of the polygon. So if you needed to make an 8-sided or a 9-sided polygon, you can just use the up and down arrows. All right. Same thing. If I hold the option key down, I control the center. Where I click is the center. I drag it out from that center point. Or I can also change the colors. I could say I don't want any stroke too. Turn the stroke off right there. Or I can put a stroke on it. And I could say I don't want any fill. You can do that with anything, any shape. Okay? You can either just have fill or just have stroke. But I want fill and stroke. Okay. Get there. Use these. Oops, cancel that. Let's make a new one. I didn't want to do that though. Hit the delete key, selection tool, drag that guy off, and get rid of these things. I'm approaching the 10-minute mark here, so I need to speed this up. Star tool, same thing, click, drag, and hold. Up arrow increases number of points, down arrow decreases. Up arrow increases, down arrow decreases the number of sides. And it's getting kind of busy on that stroke. Let me shrink it down a little bit. Stroke color, I could change it, right? And the fill. with all right. Same thing also with selection tool. I can move it, change its size. If I hold the shift key down, it will stay proportional with this width and height. It'll stay proportional if you hold the shift key down. If you don't hold the shift key down, then it could get all, then you have two-dimensional change of the shape. And you can rotate too. Don't forget that. All right. Let me put a star out here, show you something cool. Because we are not limited to just colors. Although colors are good, and let's review those. We've got the stroke and the fill. And we have over here on the panel side, a color panel. Okay. And over here on this side controls which get changed by this color panel. Right now, stroke is on top. So whatever I click on, the stroke color changes to that. If you have your color spectrum kind of like that when it opens up, when you open it up, then go ahead and drag it down to make it wider. I can use X on the keyboard to change. Now I've got, with the X on the keyboard, I've got the fill on top. So I could change that. All right. So remember the X jumps between the two. See, every time I hit the X, and whichever one's on top is what is going to get changed by any of the color spectrum or the color swatches, or the patterns, whatever. Let's talk about those patterns. I'm going to open up now the swatch panel. It's right here. Oops, right there. And if I go to the bottom left, I've got all these different panels, color swatches to choose from. All these cool different colors for us by category. All these different categories. Explore these. Some of them are pretty cool. You might want to check them out. The one I want to take you to is patterns and nature and animal skins. These are my favorite. So right now I have stroke on top. Let me thicken the stroke up a little bit. And you have zebra stroke. You could just try these different strokes. Hit X on the keyboard, puts the fill on top. And now I've got that I can make changes to. And if you go through this list down here, these arrows, you can see there's all these different decorative, legacy, all these different patterns and textures that they have. So that goes with part of our elements of design, texture. All right, so play around with this. You want to use at least 20 shapes. You want to create some kind of design that you like. And remember, picture's worth 1,000 words. So if you can tell a story, that's even better. If you tell a story with your design with these shapes. You're limited to just these 4 shapes here. The rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon tool, and star tool. When you're done, you finally get all the pieces in place where you want them. You want to go ahead and Command S to save. Make sure in your Documents folder, okay, click Save and OK. And then also export it so you can put it on your web page. So export, file export, save for web. And we want the preset over here to be a JPEG high for this one. And we want to set the width to 250 and save it. Click Save a bunch of times. Make sure it's in Documents. Click Save. Then go to your web page. Go to Web Starts, log in, and get it on your graphics page. Let's see if there's time to do that. We are out of time, so you know how to do this. Graphics page goes on the graphics page. Thank you.